we can see that people who exercise on the same day and at the same time retain their exercise behavior. They stay exercisers for much, much longer than people who train at ad hoc days and times. Retention is not the opposite of attrition. Although the fitness industry as a whole treats it very much like that, it isn't. Retention is about the length of time someone stays within your business. Now, again, traditionally in the industry, we've measured that in months. When you've got more studio-based or boutique-based operations, you're also looking at that in days and weeks, so even shorter periods. Now, I also work with online providers, and there we're looking at retention to video in minutes and seconds. So retention is a measure of time. Attrition is a measure of people. How many people quit your club this week or quit attending this week? The opposite of quitting is joining. So if you were to draw a line at one end, you have the sale, then you'd have a long line measured in months of how long, or days, how long people stayed with you. And then you'd have the number of people that have quit. So when you hear people say attrition is the opposite of retention, is not. Retention is about how long people stay, and is a measure of time. Attrition is a measure of people. And obviously the opposite of people can't be months. The opposite of the behaviors you're looking at. Now, what we've seen in our data is that anyone 18 to 35 actually churn faster, and over 35s tend to stay a little bit longer. Now, that is based on the demographic of the environment where your club is based. So if you're in a high population with older adults, your retention's got, and when I say older, I do mean over 35. I'm not talking old. So I can see there's a couple of people going, am I old? Am I old already? It's just a behavioural thing. Over 35 stay longer. And the reason they stay longer is when we've looked at the research on this, they tend to be more settled in their weekly behaviours. So they're more likely to have a steady job that they're fixed at, their weekly routine's the same, their home life is the same. And so when they find time to put exercise into their life, that becomes part of the week. And I did a piece of research a while ago now that we refer to as the Black Report. We did too, a black and white report. And the Black Report was me interviewing 1,000 people who had been members of health club studios or gyms for had at least 2 memberships. So they joined, stayed, left, joined a second one, stayed. Some had left, some are still there. Those 1,000 people had 6,500 years of experience using clubs of different types. And there was a woman that I interviewed, and I quote her quite frequently because I think it reinforces the point I'm making. When I talked to her about her exercise program, she said, Paul, Thursday night is Zumba night because on Thursday night I do Zumba. She said, my husband knows I'm doing Zumba. My friends know I'm doing Zumba. And if my husband's working late or working away, he needs to arrange for childcare if he's not going to be at home himself, because Thursday night is Zumba night. And this woman had delineated this period of time in her week for herself, and nothing was going to shift that and nothing was going to change it. Now, that's, her describing it, but that's actually a pattern that we look for. We can see that people who exercise on the same day and at the same time retain their exercise behavior. They stay exercisers for much, much longer than people who train at ad hoc days and times. So if you can get your members to start attending classes or sessions at the same day and same time each week, even if it's multiple times throughout the week, they're going to stay much, much longer. In fact, when we looked at personal training, people who had personal training on the same day of the week at the same time stayed longer than any other type of member. But the next members that stood the longest were people who didn't have a trainer, but trained same day and time. And those people who had a trainer, but trained at an ad hoc time, didn't stay as long as the people who trained regularly, but on their own. So we can see that retention is very, very much related to visit frequency and timing.
Hey everybody, Jessica LaChance here. Do you want more business education for your fitness studio or wellness business? Subscribe to our YouTube channel or our email newsletters, and we'll see you here soon.